This is that which Yahweh was made. Tomorrow is the rest of the Holy Shabbath. Unto Yahweh, bake that which you will bake today, and seethe that you will seethe, and that which remaineth lay over for you to be kept until the morning. Let us worship Yahweh for the Shabbath day. Knowing how she was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for 300 pence, 1 year's wages, and given to the poor. Understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she has wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she has poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman has done be told for a memorial of her. Amen. Bashem Yahushua Mashiach. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Mashiach. Anakta Bakwas Laka Yahweh Kaya Barak. Akal Nawa Washatan Nawa. Bashem Yeshua Mashiach. The water health Yal Aman. All right, Aman. It shall come. All right, so just give me the skinny cord for this. I think it's over on the charger by the window up there. Just a quick review of what we went over earlier today. Some of the aspects of wisdom that we got. We'll kind of discuss them briefly. We won't be too long. All right. So one of the first themes that we see, Zayata, give me that piece of paper with the blue writing at the bottom too, okay? On the desk. All right. So one of the first themes that we see in here is knowledge. Jethro had knowledge of what Yahweh had done. He didn't have all of the details firsthand, unless scouts went to tell him about it. But he had the knowledge of what Yahweh had done. All right. So that's a theme of wisdom that we see inside of today's reading. All right. Knowledge. This whole book, the whole chapter is giving us knowledge of what happened, knowledge of what to do, right? Knowledge of changes to make. So that's that's the foundational pillar of wisdom. So you have to always understand, in order to advance your understanding, you have to gain more knowledge. That's how you understand something. When you have the knowledge of it, you get a good understanding of it, right? It's kind of, common sense, but you have to get the knowledge first. You can't just base on the understanding, but you have to base upon, okay, here's the knowledge about this situation. More knowledge gives you more understanding. You know what they say? Knowledge to a degree is power, because it allows you to know what you can do and how you can do it. Okay. Now another thing that we see here in this reading of Exodus chapter 18, verse 1 through 19:5, we see a very the paper is there's a paper up there. There's a paper up there somewhere. It had some blue writing on it at the bottom. I think it's this. It looks like this, but it has writing at the bottom. Another element that we see throughout the whole chapter is government and order. Moses' whole mission, all right, his whole mission was to establish and to protect the nation of Israel, Yasharallah, or Yisrael. That was his mission, to establish and protect us. And he was doing his best. He was putting his whole energy into helping the whole nation every day. Him, with all those people. And if we go into Numbers chapter 11, we see a similar situation when Yahweh took the spirit of Moses, took some of Moses' spirit, Moses' skills and abilities, and he put that onto he put it onto the 70 elders. Okay, he put it onto the 70 elders, and these elders, all right, are the ones that became a different system of help for Moses also. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna look at Numbers chapter 11, and I'll start from verse 16. And Yahweh said to Moses, gather for me 70 men from the elders of Israel, whom you personally know that they are elders of the people, and are their scribes, and you shall lead them to the tent of witness, and they shall stand there with you. And I will come down and speak there with you, and I will remove some of the spirit that is upon you, and I will place it upon them, and they shall assist you with the onslaught of the people, and you will not bear them alone. And you shall say unto the people, purify yourselves, for tomorrow you shall eat meat, so on and so forth. All right. So we see that Moses, all right, the water. We see that Moses is in the situation to where um he's sharing his high level of leadership. Okay, this is the leadership level that Moses was. We're reading about it in Exodus chapter 18, where now everybody's supposed to go to Moses if there's a big situation. But even that situation had to evolve into another system of government where Moses had a downline, subordinates under him, 70 subordinates to be sure, and these were the ones that sat in judgment with Moses. Right, this is what became known as, popularly known as the Sanhedrin, also called the Beit Din Gadol, or the Great House of Judgment, where situations and decisions pertaining to our nation, protection and safety of other people was implemented. All right, and if nothing else, the Numbers chapter 11 verses 16 all the way down to 18. All right, and Exodus chapter 18 highlights the reality and the necessity of our people having a government. All right, and that's the concept that we had of Masharah Yasharallah, is the government of Israel for all of our people across the world. Okay, that's the whole concept of it, is a government for the people, um, established so that the people can have established so that the people can have proper instruction in the Torah and a proper resource to go to in order for problems to be solved, to actually serve the people. And that's a project that we started in back in 2014 publicly. But since then, certain brothers who don't have the respect for the Torah that you would expect an elder to have kind of downplayed the significance and importance of the summits, and have kind of hijacked it to have, basically like little social get-togethers where they rehearse and review the same thing and have a barbecue and a picnic, and that's pretty much it. There's no small, medium, or large scale measurable progress. No progress where we can say, look, this is what we've done, as a nation, as a people over these past 11 years. It's been now, and it's sad, but we're working on changing that. All right, we're working on changing that. So nonetheless, we see that Moses' father-in-law, he gives him counsel. He gives him direction on what to do. All right. He gives him counsel. And the counsel he gives him is actually based on what we see in the scriptures. The scriptures talk about how wisdom is at the top, but then in order to fully understand and comprehend getting to wisdom, you have these seven pillars. Well, instead of wisdom, we have Moses. Instead of seven pillars, we have 70 elders. And those elders are supports unto Moses in his office, just like the seven pillars of wisdom support the house that wisdom built, as we see in Proverbs chapter 9. It says, wisdom has builded herself a pillar and supported it with seven. I'm sorry, wisdom has built herself a house and supported it with seven pillars. And again, those seven pillars that wisdom used to support her house are knowledge, instruction, understanding, discretion, equity, justice, and judgment. So now these pillars support wisdom. So we have now Moses' pillars are those 70 men. All right. So we see Moses in one posture in Exodus 18, but when we go into Numbers 11, we see him in a different posture. Okay. Shabbat Shalom, Adriana. Shabbat Shalom, Yahudayath. So again, the government of Israel is established right here in exile, in the wilderness, without a physical building, okay, with no place of worship, with no central place as a nomadic people. All right, you gotta understand that we lived a nomadic lifestyle. We were not fixed, we were not settlers at this point. We were nomadic, walking through the desert. All right. So we also see that we have a very strong theme of student and teacher. We see Moses' father-in-law bowing to him, like accepting the fact that he's subordinate in a sense to Moses. But then we see Moses accepting counsel from the man that has just bowed to him. So he's receiving that man, which is his father-in-law, as a counselor, as a high-level counselor, right beside Moses. All right, this is a man that has not been in captivity; he's been free, right? And Moses was in the government of Egypt. Remember, don't forget that Moses was in the government of Egypt, but Moses left and was gone for 40 years, and he came back to deliver the children of Israel. So Moses is 80 years old. He's seen a lot, but he was healthy. He was fit. He was in shape. Moses would have had like a whole following, clips and shorts if he was alive now. He was a man that was healthy. He was wise. He was intelligent, but he physically really couldn't engage in the job by himself that he had to do as a leader of a nation. So now, another thing I want to highlight, and I'll probably conclude on this point, is the fact that Moses had set up under Jethro's suggestion, and then Moses did the implementation, and Yahweh told him, that it was okay to go ahead and do it this way. When you go into verse 18, it says that did you go look? It says you'll be destroyed. All right, he had it already, I think. You'll be destroyed with unbearable destruction. You do what I'm telling you, and Yahweh will tell you. Yahweh will be with you. So now Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, who is an Arab, he's an Arab man, but at this time the Arabs probably still looked a lot like the children of Israel looked. All right. So he tells them, look, you need to get officers of 1,000, hundreds, fifties, and tens. You need to structure this nation so that there is a chain of command, is what we would call it. And it shows you the importance of a chain of command when serving and helping the people. You help them to get a better understanding of situations, to solve problems that they may find themselves in, and you help them stand up firm for what they believe in. And you help them if they've been knocked down by somebody, you help them get back up. And the person that knocked them down, there has to be some type of judgment or chastisement for what they did so that justice can be served, which is the sixth pillar of wisdom. All right. So once you know what is just, what is righteous, what is lawful to do to solve this matter, you have to execute it. And that's the place where a lot of our people find themselves stuck, is in the place of executing the judgment, because sometimes it's painful to do the right thing. Sometimes it's painful to make a decision that you know is going to be for the good and the benefit of your own family and yourself, but you may stall it out for a minute because growth and forward movement and unfamiliarity, even though you got a script to follow, it's very uncomfortable, and very unusual. All right. But these are the decisions that we use to go through life. All right. And wisdom is there to guide us if we understand, and if we're taught, you have to be taught how to access and how to use the counsel of Yahweh based on his word, not based on nothing weird and crazy, but based on what his word says, based on what direction he would give. So the government structure of Israel and the authority that the government had. In other words, when these people spoke, they were speaking as if they were the mouth of Moses. And when we go and look into it, if they didn't follow the judgment that was given, there was a terrible consequence. You have to maintain law and order in any society. And through our conquest, all right, por nuestras conquistas, and through our migrations y through nuestras migraciones, uh, we have learned the ways of our enemies. Nosotros hemos aprendido las maneras de nuestros enemigos, the people that conquered us, los que nos conquistaron. But the guide to how we're supposed to live as a community and as a family, la guía como nosotros debemos vivir como una familia y como una nación, la guía ya está escrita en la Santa Biblia. The guide is written in the Holy Bible. Y tenemos que mantener un gobierno. We have to maintain a government. Un gobierno aprobado por Yahweh, a government approved by Yahweh. No solamente una congregación independiente, not just an independent congregation, pero una nación in partes diferentes, but a nation in different parts. Por las Américas, through America, y por todo el mundo, and through the whole world. All right, pero nosotros tenemos que organizarnos hoy en día, ahora mismo. All right, so we have to organize ourselves today, all right now, si queremos sobrevivir con menos presión, if we want to survive with less pressure, porque es muy difícil en estos días, es muy difícil sobrevivir. In these days, it's very difficult to survive. Pero si tenemos sabiduría de Yahweh y su consejo, if we got the wisdom of Yahweh and Yahweh's counsels, podemos conquistar cada problema. We can conquer every problem. But hay que trabajar juntos, but we have to work together como una nación, as one nation, organizada, organized, un pueblo organizado, a organized people. Porque cada persona quiere mantenerse independiente y presentarse como quiere presentarse. because every person wants to maintain themselves independently and then just kind of come around and present themselves when they want to. Okay. Así no funciona una nación. A nation does not work like that. Así no funciona la familia. A family doesn't work like that. Y imagínate que si yo soy si yo soy el padre de una familia o primo, o vivimos juntos en la misma zona, solamente visito los otros cuando yo quiero visitarlos y no me importa los problemas o las situaciones en cuales necesitan ayuda. Imagine if we part of a family, or a father of a family, or from a cousin in the family, and I only come around when it's convenient. You know, I don't come around to help solve problems and to help solve problems and to help put things in order. I just kind of come around when I want to come around. La familia va a caerse. The family is going to fall. Okay? Por eso tenemos la Torah y tenemos sabiduría de Yahweh. Because of this, we have the Torah and we have the wisdom of Yahweh. Okay, we have the wisdom of Yahweh. So we have to organize and structure ourselves. Hay que organizar y fortalecernos como una nación, as one people. So we see that the government is the biggest theme that we see in here. Organizing ourselves, organizing ourselves as a people, right? Coming together under what Yahweh is ordering us to do. And we have to do the same thing in our households. Organize your house orderly. Organize your house according to the Torah. Organize your house according to what Yahweh has shown you. All right, just go through the scriptures and see what does Yahweh said about family. As a matter of fact, there's a guide for all of the commandments in the Torah where it's been put into a booklet where it's organized by topic. All right, organize it by topic, and each topic it talks about family, talks about dietary. Hay una guía que tenemos donde las leyes, los mandamientos de Yahweh están presentados en una manera más organizada. Y hay temas. Aquí, por ejemplo, todas las reglas que tenemos sobre la familia en una sección. La sección que tenemos sobre la comida en una sección. Una sección que solamente pertenece, por ejemplo, a apariencia, la manera de vestirnos, la barba, el cabello. Hay reglas que Yahweh nos han dicho que tenemos que guardar. So you have the section about your appearance, and you have a section about family, and you have a section about your food, all organized so that you can read it. Pero mi punto es eso, but my point is this. Hay que aprender para saber cómo puedo organizar no solamente enseñanzas, pero tu propia vida. All right. So there's ways for you to learn how to organize, not just lessons, but how to organize, your own life in a way that's pleasing to Yahweh. Yo creo que hay una opción también para traducir las palabras en inglés a español, pero yo no sé cómo se puede acceder a esa opción. Lo siento, pero sí hay una manera para traducir todas las palabras. There's a way to organize all of the words into Spanish, but I just don't know where that. I'll look for it, when we finish. Ya tardamos 26 minutos. We've been doing this for like 26 minutes now. We're gonna finish up in a minute. Hay un tema muy fuerte. There's a theme very strong. There's a very strong theme of family. Moses' father-in-law, Moses' wife, Moses' sons. All right. Very strong family thing. Close-knit family thing too. And then after that, we see Moses talking with his family. Remember, this is the man that Moses has lived with for 40 years. This is not a stranger. Moses has been away from his brother, away from his sister, okay, away from his cousins for 40 years. So this man, he saw this man operating and working. He saw this man was a high level community official, all right, in the land of Midian. Okay. But again, the nation was structured and organized. Ese no fue un hombre muy bajo. Él vivía con su suegro para 40 años, aparte de sus primos, aparte de su hermana y hermanos mayores, ¿verdad? Aparte de su propia gente, aparte de su nación, para 40 años. Y apenas cuando él llegó, Faraón, tenemos problemas. ¿Por qué tú llegaste trayendo problemas contigo para Faraón, para nosotros? Déjanos en paz, que trabajamos para Faraón gratis y vamos a evitar problemas. Y eso es lo que, so Moses was going for 40 years. He arrived, hey, why you bring these problems with us for Pharaoh? Leave us alone. Let us work for Pharaoh. Just let us work for free. Y eso es lo que decía antes. This is what I was saying before. A veces es más cómodo, comfortable. Es más fácil a veces para quedarse en una situación que no te gusta, pero es más difícil para cambiarlo. Hay demasiados pasos pesados que tiene que pasar. So sometimes it's more comfortable to stay in a position where you're not comfortable. You don't like it, but you don't have to go through a lot of steps to change it. Or you're going to have to go through a lot. It's almost like if a woman is in an abusive relationship, es casi igual si de una manera una mujer está en una situación donde el hombre está pegando, la verdad. Es difícil pensar, it's difficult to think about, tengo que llamar, tengo que llevar mis cosas, I gotta call the police, I gotta carry my things, tengo que llevar los niños, I gotta carry my children, tengo que cambiar mi cuenta de banco, I gotta change my bank account, tengo que buscar otro trabajo, I gotta look for another job, tengo que buscar otro lugar para vivir, y le da pena y tiene vergüenza, and the person is ashamed and they're embarrassed. Y tengo que ir al corte, I gotta go to court, tengo que decir todo el mundo, mis secretos familiares, I gotta tell everybody my family secrets, y it's very difficult. It's very difficult to think of that situation and to confront it. All right? Es difícil enfrentar o acercar a esta situación así. En serio. Right? Pero sabemos que si vamos paso, vamos a estar en una situación más seguro. If we go through those steps, we know that we'll be in a situation that's more safe un año en el futuro, a year into the future. But first you have to go through those initial steps. Primero tiene que pasar por esos pasos muy difíciles, very difficult. Y así es como la palabra de Yahweh como una nación. It's the same way with Yahweh, with our nation. Es difícil decir no voy a comer cerdo. It's hard to say I'm not going to eat pork. Porque solamente tengo bastante para el cerdo. I only have enough money to buy pork. O no puedo parar de trabajar en Shabbat. I can't stop working on Shabbat. Porque recibo tiempo y medio en Shabbat. I receive time and a half on Shabbat. Y si no voy a trabajo, yo puedo perder todo lo que tengo. If I don't go to Shabbat, and if I don't go to work on the Shabbat, I can lose everything that I have. Pues hay una decisión que tiene que hacer. There's a decision you have to make. Si amamos a dinero, if we love money, o si amamos a Yahweh, or if we love Yahweh. Es una decisión simple. Es a simple decision. Y todo el mundo dice, sí, yo amo Yahweh más de dinero. I love Yahweh more than money. Pero ¿qué dice las acciones? What does your actions say? So it's the words, it's the actions, not your words, right? Son hechos, no palabras. It's the acts. Con su boca dice, oh, yo amo a Yahweh, oh, gloria a Yahweh el Altísimo. You with your mouth say, oh, I love Yahweh, glory to Yahweh the Most High. Pero con las acciones, but with your actions, ¿qué prueba tiene? What proof do you have? La prueba dice que, oh, yo voy a hacer lo que tengo que hacer, incluso desobediencia contra Yahweh. I'm going to do what I have to do. Your words say you love Yahweh, but your actions say I'm going to do what I have to do, even if it means disobeying Yahweh. Okay? So the foundation of your family, pues el base de su familia, tiene que ser la confianza en la palabra de Yahweh. It has to be the confidence in the word of Yahweh. That's what it has to be. No puede ser su esposa o esposo. It can't be your husband or your wife. No puede ser el trabajo o el dinero. It can't be the job or the money. All right? It has to be the fear of Yahweh. Tiene que estar el temor de Yahweh, el respeto de Yahweh, confianza en la palabra de Yahweh. It has to be the fear of Yahweh, the respect of Yahweh, the fear, the confidence and the faith in the word of Yahweh. All right? And we see Moses talking, father-in-law talking to him. It's like an experiment. Are we going to be able to do the things that we want to do for our people? And it all started with what? A little bit of counsel. And then actually doing it. And we can take advantage of the experiences of our ancestors in the past because we have the records. Y nosotros podemos aprovechar de las experiencias de nuestros ancestros en el pasado porque tenemos los archivos. Okay, en nuestras manos, in our hands. Tenemos los archivos. We have the records. Sabemos qué funciona y qué no funciona. We know what works and what doesn't work. Sabemos qué sirve y qué no sirve. We know what's beneficial for us and what's not beneficial. Sabemos qué tiene beneficios y qué no tiene beneficios para tratar de hacer. Okay, podemos aprender de los errores de nuestros hermanos en la Biblia. We can learn from the errors of our brothers and our sisters in the Bible. Okay, in the Bible. Okay, Ramon Villar, Shalom, Shalom. Ramon Villar desde República Dominicana. Shalom. Mi líder Daniel, hallelujah. Okay. So, but we have to read. Hay que leer. We have to study. Hay que estudiar. We have to apply. Hay que aplicar la palabra de Yahweh, the word of Yahweh, sus mandamientos, his commandments, y hakma, sabiduría, and hakma, wisdom. Y tenemos que aprender del ejemplo de Hamashiach. We have to learn from the example of the Messiah, Hamashiach. Hay que aplicar las palabras en la vida, no solamente en páginas. You have to apply the word of Yahweh in your life, not just on the pages. Pues, desde ahora, from right now, desde ahora mismo, haciendo hacia el futuro, toward the future, hay que hay que sacar enseñanzas de la Biblia que pueden aplicar a su vida. You have to extract lessons from the Bible that you can apply to your own life. Okay. Y si vive y si pasa por la vida así, siempre va a ganar, nunca va a perder. If you apply this to your life, you're always going to win. Pues espiritualmente, at least spiritually, you'll win. Well, if you apply this to your life, looking at the word of Yahweh, how to apply it to your life, you won't lose spiritually. You'll always win spiritually. No importa lo que está pasando en este mundo ese mundo del físico, ¿verdad? It's not important what's happened to you in this physical world. Pero el juicio de Yahweh no va a escapar. The judgment of Yahweh, you're not going to escape his judgment. You're not going to escape his judgment. Nadie. All right, Yahweh said my former employer yelled at me because he refused to let me be off on Shabbat. All praise to Yahweh for this job. Añade off every Shabbat. Lo que dice que mi empleado o empleador del pasado me gritó y él me negó de dejarme descansar en Shabbat. Toda alabanza a Yahweh por ese trabajo y yo tengo descanso cada Shabbat. Glory to Yahweh, all praise to the Most High. Sí, y así empieza la lucha. That's how the struggle begins. Y así empiezan las conquistas. That's how the conquering begins too. Tiene que conquistar su deseo. You have to conquer your desires. Y tiene que poner en su mente que cualquier precio que tiene que pagar, que tú vas a pagar. You got to think in your mind, whatever price you have to pay, you're willing to pay it. How can you win? ¿Cómo puede ganar contra un hombre, against a man, que no se importa que tiene que pagar todo para proteger su familia? If it's not important to what he has to pay to protect his family. ¿Cómo puede conquistar a este hombre? How can you beat this man? No puede. Imagínate que tiene un ejército lleno de hombres así. You have an army full of men like that. All right. All right. So that's going to be the lesson for the wisdom of today. And just again, a review. You guys say it then? Sure, man. All right. So let's go into these pillars again. We have knowledge, instruction, understanding, discretion, equity, justice, and judgment. Tenemos conocimiento, instrucción, que también es disciplina, entendimiento, discreción, equidad, justicia y juicio. Así son los 7 pilares de Hakma, sabiduría. Those are the 7 pillars of wisdom. Y todo está construido sobre esos pilares. Everything is built upon those pillars. Everything is built on those 7 pilares, those 7 pillars. Okay. Y así podemos caminar entre sabiduría, so that way we can begin to walk among wisdom. Cuando podemos verla por los versículos, when we can see her through the verses in la Biblia, the verses in the Bible. Y después buscamos o encontramos, por ejemplo, hay un problema. Y lo que yo siento sobre el problema es contra de Yahweh. There's a problem, and the way I feel about this problem is against Yahweh. Primero, identify la ley, identify the law. Y después, and after I identify the law, ¿qué hago? What do I do? Yo puedo leer para identificar. I can read to identify cuál pila de sabiduría aparece en esta ley. What pillar of wisdom appears in this law? y después investigo maneras para resolver el problema que yo tengo en mi violación de la ley, en mi mente. I look for ways that we have where I can, how did I say it? Where I can find a way to address my shortcoming in the law just through looking at where I'm weak at in that law. So now I look through Proverbios, I look through Proverbs que me ayudan resolver el problema, that help me to resolve or to solve the problem. All right. Y así de simple. It's just that simple. No es un proceso muy difícil. It's not a difficult process. Lo que es difícil es para identificar cuál proverbio aparece o pertenece a su situación. It's hard to identify what proverb relates to your situation. Pero hay pasos que puedo usar. Y puedo aprender. There's steps you can learn, and you can learn Torah and wisdom together. Puede aprender Torah y sabiduría juntos, en unidad. All right, so, pues ya se acabó la enseñanza. Our lesson is over right now. Hay unas preguntas o hay unos comentarios que tienen. Anybody have any commentary, or any question about what we went over? You, any question? No? Okay. Any question or comments before we get off? All right, everybody, that's our wisdom for today. Pues, sale pues a todos. Ya terminamos. We finished esa enseñanza. We finished with that lesson. All right, so Shabbat Shalom a todos. Peaceful Shabbat Shalom a todos. Shabbat Shalom to everybody. All right, Shalom, everybody. Shalom. See you next time. Nos vemos después. Shalom. All right, Shabbat Shalom. So no questions over here. No hay preguntas en YouTube. No hay preguntas en YouTube. Okay, Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Shalom.